So with the official confirmation of Jodie Whittaker's departure as the Doctor and Chris Chibnall as showrunner, I'm going to talk about all of this news in thorough detail because this is a huge piece of news Doctor Who wise. Now I will also be diving into some recent news about Series 13 because that has also been released at Comic-Con, which happened a couple of days ago, I think. But anyway, let's get into all this news because we have a lot to talk about. So I'll start off with the news about Series 13 because some of it is pretty promising. Firstly, we have the news that due to the short season, Series 13 will have a continuous story, and that each episode will have some kind of cliffhanger. That is fantastic because I suggested that Chris do something like this in another of my videos, one where I suggested maybe they follow on from a show like The Mandalorian and they adapt the story formula similar to that. Another piece of news is the introduction of a new companion, Vinda, who will be played by Jacob Anderson, who you may recognise as Grey Worm from Game of Thrones. I'm not too familiar with the show, I'm not really a big fan of it. Now, at the time of recording, Series 13 has not aired, so right now we know nothing of Vinda. Personally, I'm intrigued to see where his character will go in the new series, and if he's sticking around for the foreseeable future, which I might get to later. Okay, now we'll get to the more recent news that I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. It's officially been confirmed that Jodie will be leaving the show next year after a few specials. Not only that, but Chris Chibnall is leaving as well. It's being said that Jodie and Chris made a 3 seasons and out pact with each other, so I mean, very good pact, not gonna lie. But it's honestly, I think it's a shame that Jodie is leaving, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now, I'm very sure that a lot of fans are very much glad to see Chris stepping down because his era of the show was not too well received. Let's just leave it at that because there's a lot of things that the Who fandom has said about Chris Chibnall which I will not get into. So, personally, I'm actually sad to see Jodie go because, well, I think she's had some great moments as the Doctor. Her era of the show is just down to bad writing in general, and I hope the next showrunner will continue the legacy with some great episodes and, more importantly, a great Doctor. I know Michael Sheen is my top choice for the next Time Lord. Okay, so the next question that I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask, when is Jodie going to be leaving? Now, in the reports that were released, we got the news that Jodie would be leaving after 3 quote-unquote blockbuster-style specials, which also confirms a report from a few weeks ago saying that Jodie would be leaving after a few specials, and that has been confirmed now. So if that sounds familiar, the BBC did do something similar with David Tennant, because I think originally they probably wanted to do a Series 5 with Tennant, but at the time I think he was supposed to be doing some kind of Shakespeare thing. I think he was supposed to be playing Hamlet at that time. So they had to stick with the specials so it wouldn't interfere with Tennant rehearsing for the play. So I thought specials was a pretty good way. It was nice to see David Tennant stepping down as the Doctor in that fashion. And I hope that we'll have the same quality with those specials as we do with the ones that we're going to get. Now, we don't exactly have any release dates for these confirmed specials, and yeah, we're going to get at least 3 specials. In the last one, Jodie will most likely step down, meaning we'll get the regeneration here. Now, we don't actually know when these specials are going to be released at the time of recording, but much like David Tennant's specials, I think they're going to be released on actual holidays. Because we've got 3 specials, I expect we'll probably get a Christmas/New Year special. We don't know when it's going to air, but I really want Chibnall to break the tradition in his era and go for a Christmas special, because that's one thing that's brought Doctor Who fans together at the holidays. Special 2, I think, will release around Easter time. Now, the Easter special for Tennant was Planet of the Dead with Lady Christina, who I think was in EastEnders, and Unit showed up, which was always a welcome sight. Unit were very prominent in the Russell T Davies era, so that was fun to see. And yeah, the second one will release at Easter, and the third and final of these specials, I think, will release around Halloween time. And keep in mind, the conclusion to these specials will be around autumn 2022. So we can most likely expect a Halloween special, which is very exciting because I for one would love to see a sort of another horror story in the show. I mean, one idea for this, just off the top of my head, maybe the Doctor might return to, say, midnight, which I think would be interesting. And maybe one of these specials, or multiple specials, we might get a crossover with a past Doctor. Now, I know a lot of people want to see Matt Smith return, but unfortunately I think he is quite busy outside of Doctor Who stuff now, which I think is why he hasn't returned to Big Finish. I think the same issue with Peter Capaldi, because of course he is in the Suicide Squad movie, and obviously I think he's doing a lot of stuff for that, so it's going to be interesting to see whether Capaldi or Smith could return. Now, I think the most obvious choice for fans is David Tennant. Again, I would love to see Tennant return, but I think we've had enough of Tennant for now. I mean, he's been gone from the show for over 10 years at this point. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would love to see maybe the 8th Doctor or the 9th Doctor show up. Now, while I think that would be pretty interesting, I think we should save a multi-Doctor story for the 60th anniversary, because if we have a multi-Doctor story in this group of specials, then another multi-Doctor special in 2023 for the 60th anniversary, that might be a bit of an overkill in my opinion. But again, if the BBC wants to do it, it's their choice, I'm not going to stop them. Now, I'll be making a separate video on what I'd like to see in these specials, so if you're excited for that, let me know in the comments. So, those are my thoughts on the new Series 13 videos, or the new news for Doctor Who. If you enjoyed, then please click that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. And before I forget, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I will see you all soon. Take care, everyone.